Hi, I'm Carol Burnett, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome to the Broadway.com show, your weekly guide to everything jazz hands. Or as we like to think of it, the only place that thinks it's totally normal to ditch your family and buy a plane ticket to spend Thanksgiving with a bunch of singing murderers in London. But more about that in a second. What's the buzz, Beth?
Yes, this one is about the singing murderers, so take a deep breath because it's the biggest news to hit London since Benedict Cumberbatch decided to do Shakespeare again. Yep, Aaron Tveit's coming to London. The Broadway.com Audience Choice Award winner is making his UK stage debut in Assassins at the Menure Chocolate Factory. Aaron is playing Abraham Lincoln's killer John Wilkes Booth in the Sondheim musical, which begins performances on November 21st and opens on December 1st. Book those tickets now, Tater Tots.
It's time for U.S. history to get a hip-hop lesson. Brian Darcy James, Philippa Sue, Christopher Jackson, and Leslie Odom Jr. have been cast in Hamilton, the new musical by In the Heights star and creator Lin-Manuel Miranda. Directed by Thomas Kail, the new musical, which traces Hamilton's life from his teen years spent in the West Indies to his tenure as the country's first Treasury Secretary, will star Miranda in the title role. Dust off your best powdered wig because Hamilton is set to begin performances on January 20th at the Public Theater.
Ruth Wilson will star opposite the previously announced Jake Gyllenhaal in Constellations on the Great White Way. She's won 2 Oliviers for her stage work in London. Check her out on Netflix in Jane Eyre or the new Showtime series The Affair. Meanwhile, thank heaven, Howard McGillin, Corey Cott and Stephanie Lee will star alongside Vanessa Hudgens in the Broadway-bound Gigi. They'll start singing about inventing champagne at the Kennedy Center in January. We'll drink to that.
More great Broadway stars are jumping on the Band Wagon, a special concert staging of the movie musical classic. Joining Brian Stokes Mitchell are Laura Osnes, Tracie Ullman, Roger Reeves, Michael Barres, Don Stevenson, and Michael McKean. Directed and choreographed by Kathleen Marshall and written by Douglas Carter Bean, the Encore's concert is a redo of the previous stage adaptation that played at the Old Globe Theater under the name Dancing in the Dark. The Band Wagon will play City Center from November 6th to the 16th.
She's an Emmy winner, she's a redhead, she's loud, and she'll be telling it like it is on the New York stage. Funny lady Joy Behar will be sharing her life story at Off-Broadway's Cherry Lane Theater this fall. The View favorite will premiere her new solo show, Me, My Mouth, and I, beginning November 6th. The new comedy spans her Brooklyn childhood to her stand-up work and sitcom appearances, and something tells us it might just include a spot-on impression of Barbara Walters.
Hi, I'm Tracie Thoms, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
This week's Hotshot finds Tony winner Blythe Danner getting a sweet opening night hug from her Oscar-winning daughter Gwyneth Paltrow, as captured by Broadway.com photographer Bruce Glickus. Paltrow was on hand at the Friedman Theater to cheer on her mom's star turn as a grande dame of an acting family in the country house. Doesn't sound too far-fetched, does it?
We're teaming up every week with Culturalist, a super fun site that allows you to create a top 10 list for any subject to bring you the Broadway.com Culturalist Challenge. For our first week, we asked you to rank the star turns by Broadway favorites on the first 3 seasons of American Horror Story in honor of the FX hit's 4th season premiere on October 8th. Here's how your stage faves stacked up. Kathy Bates as Marie Delphine LaLaurie on Coven. Frances Conroy as Myrtle Snow on Coven. Lily Rabe as Misty Day on Coven. Zachary Quinto as Dr. Oliver Thredson on Asylum. Jessica Lange as Constance Langdon on Murder House. Lily Rabe as Sister Mary Eunice McKee on Asylum. Jessica Lange as Fiona Good on Coven. Sarah Paulson as Cordelia Fox on Coven. Jessica Lange as Sister Jude Martin on Asylum. And your number 1 pick, Sarah Paulson as Lana Winters on Asylum. Go Lana Banana. Check out this week's Culturalist Challenge on Broadway.com and check back for the results every Wednesday on the Broadway.com show.
Thumbs up to Amy Spanger, who is back in the clink. The Broadway baby has returned for a 3rd time to play Roxy Hart in the long-running revival of Chicago on the Great White Way. Spanger takes over for Bianca Marroquin, who will kick off the first leg of the tuner's 16th national tour. We're looking forward to stopping by to see you, Miss Spanger, raking the chips at the Ambassador Theatre.
We've got to give this week's thumbs down to director Baz Luhrmann. Your movie Moulin Rouge is lush, eye-popping, and practically born for Broadway. We've been waiting 13 years to see Satine and Christian sing and dance on stage, and fans voted Moulin Rouge the #1 Ewan McGregor movie they'd like to see on the Great White Way in our weekend poll. But instead, you're giving us Strictly Ballroom the Musical in Australia. That's great and everything, but where's our El Tango de Roxanne? Where's Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend? Where's our damn Elephant Love medley, Baz? Where is it?
I'm Jeremy Shamus, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Our tweet of the week comes from Spring Awakening and Fun Home alum Alexandra Socha, who isn't fretting too much about Apple's recent spell of security flaws. She tweeted, "Welp, if my iCloud gets hacked today, all they'll find are videos of myself doing Adina impressions." In these times of jeopardy, injustice, and strife, it's nice to know that what brings us all together are our videos of us trying to belt like Idina Menzel. Alexandra, we respect your bravery. You can follow the star at Alexandra Socha.
This Brit got recruited while at Juilliard to make his Broadway debut as the lead of The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. In the role of Christopher, a 15-year-old who is exceptionally intelligent but ill-equipped to interpret everyday life, he never leaves the stage. The show just opened and critics and audiences have been wowed by this young man's sensitive, immersive, extraordinary performance. Alex Sharp, you are our star of the week.
In last week's Smackdown, we asked you to choose between two projects based on a certain boy who refuses to grow up: the Broadway-bound Finding Neverland or NBC's upcoming Peter Pan Live. The results are in, and Finding Neverland flew to the top with 91% of the vote. In this week's Smackdown, we're tearing apart a beloved stage duo and taking sides. Which Tony-winning favorite are you most excited to see in It's Only a Play? Matthew Broderick as a panicky playwright on his big opening night, or Nathan Lane as his best friend, a very catty TV star? Tweet your vote to @BroadwayCom with the hashtag #BWaySmackdown and tune in next week for the winner.
That's it for this week's episode of the Broadway.com show. We'll leave you with our exclusive video of Aaron Tveit and Emily Paget recording I Will Never Leave You from the Broadway revival of Sideshow, which will release a new cast album in early 2015. See you next week.